Dear Taurus, prepare yourself for a fulfilling culmination. Someone has been thinking about you deeply, and what you've patiently cultivated is finally on its way. Have you ever felt like you've transformed completely from who you once were? You've loved steadfastly, endured challenges silently, offered patient forgiveness, and patiently awaited something more solid and meaningful. Though you may not voice it, your heart has been yearning for true stability, a lasting connection, a well-deserved reward, or recognition from the universe for your unwavering efforts. Today, I'm here to share this exciting news. What you've been waiting for is approaching. It's not merely a person, it's a pivotal, grounding moment in your life. If your heart is resonating with this message, stay tuned. This journey begins with something that seemed to have settled, an old soul that simply cannot let go of your comforting presence. Have you ever sensed a familiar, steady presence around you? Not through sight or words, but through a quiet, anchoring energy that lingers. Perhaps an old song plays, stirring deep emotions of comfort, or you find yourself dreaming about someone from your past, feeling an unspoken, reliable connection. That strange stillness during the bustling day, it's a sign that someone is reflecting on you profoundly. Taurus, this isn't just a figment of your imagination, it's a soul that is captivated by your sincerity and can no longer move on without your grounding influence. They may have believed they could forget you, thinking distance would dull their memories and that time would heal all wounds, but they were mistaken. The security and warmth you shared is a profound experience, one that cannot be easily replaced. Once you've touched someone's soul with your dependability, you remain a steadfast part of them forever. You have imprinted yourself on their heart more deeply than you realize. Wherever they go, your essence of stability follows them. A piece of your practical advice echoes in their thoughts, and moments of simple comfort you shared replay in their minds like a soothing, never-ending soundtrack. They may act indifferent or aloof, but don't let that fool you. At night, they wrestle with memories of you, haunted by the genuine, unresolved emotions they felt. Taurus, you are not just a fleeting thought. You are an unshakable mountain, a fertile ground that has left a significant mark on their memory. They once thought you were too stable, perhaps even a bit stubborn, but now they feel as though the world is missing your steadfastness. Never doubt your worth just because someone walked away. They didn't leave due to any lack on your part. They left because they weren't ready to build the solid foundation you offered. Sometimes, the universe removes someone from your life, not as a punishment, but as a way to protect you from someone who couldn't appreciate your true value and dependability. Their lingering thoughts aren't meant to pull you back. It serves as a lesson for them. True, stable love doesn't always come around again, and you don't need their return to validate your worth. Your grounding energy, the unconditional support you once offered, has already demonstrated that you are deserving. You no longer plead for stability from others. Instead, you open your heart to those who recognize your quiet strength, who aren't afraid of the depths of your loyalty, and who are mature enough to enter the sacred, secure space you've guarded. Taurus, you are not merely remembered, you are deeply cherished for your reliability. You are not just someone who was loved, you are an indelible mark of security on their heart. And that, dear Taurus, is a beautiful triumph of your nature. But this is just one part of the extraordinary journey the universe has in store for you. This person is not only thinking of you, they are quietly but intensely considering making their way back into your life. And it's not just the past. A new, more practical and enduring love is on the horizon. One that will require you to make a choice based on your core values. Are you ready, Taurus? In the next segment, we'll explore a triumph that no one anticipated, not even you. If this resonates with you, leave a comment saying, "I am ready to receive the stability I have patiently built." When a soul begins to linger in your thoughts, when a heart cannot let go, it signifies more than just romance. It's a message. It's the universe knocking, signaling that a tangible reward is approaching. What will surprise you most is not just who is returning, but the profound inner fortification you are about to undergo. In the next section, we'll delve into the unexpected triumph that will change everything and explain why, this time, you won't be left feeling unsettled. Have you ever felt as though you were standing before something monumental, yet unsure of its form? It's as if something significant and solid is waiting for you just ahead, a vague intuition whispering, "When will it finally arrive?" You might have grown accustomed to hoping, only to face delays. You've tried so hard, yet every door seemed to close just as you reached for it. At times, you may have accepted that lasting happiness was not meant for you. But today, I urge you to prepare your heart for what the universe is about to deliver. An unexpected, solid triumph is on its way to you, Taurus. This time, nothing can stand in your way. A new door is opening, but it's not a result of your forcing it. It's because the timing is finally right. You no longer need to knock. The universe is opening the door for you. All you need is the courage to step through it, grounded in your inherent strength. You've traveled paths that others cannot understand, carrying burdens that were invisible to the world. You've smiled while your heart ached with perseverance, and each time you approached the light, something pulled you back into the familiar shadows of patience. But this time, everything is different. You don't need to force anything anymore. You don't need to prove your worth, because the universe has witnessed all your silent struggles and steadfast efforts. Right now, you are like a great, deep-rooted tree, silently gathering strength. No one sees the growth underground, but when it blossoms, it will astound everyone around you. Dear Taurus, you have learned to let go of what no longer serves your growth. You have discovered how to love without possessiveness and how to lose without blame. Just when you stop trying to control outcomes, your energy begins to attract all that is good and lasting. You no longer chase after what you desire. Instead, you reach for what you rightfully deserve. Love doesn't stem from lack. It flows from the abundance and security within you. Career opportunities don't arise from fierce competition, but from consistency and self-belief. Financial success doesn't come merely from effort, but from the steady frequency you emit every single day. Now the universe is gathering everything you have lost or patiently waited for to return it to you in the most radiant and tangible way. You will be chosen, you will be seen, and you will receive precisely what you once thought you didn't deserve. New career paths will emerge that you never imagined possible, ones that align with your values. Financial opportunities will come from unexpected yet steady sources. Love will not be loud or desperate. It will resonate deeply with your soul's need for security and genuine connection. This time, nothing can hold you back because the universe is on your side. However, dear Taurus, this victory is not a solitary reward. It's the culmination of a series of karmic connections that were never fully acknowledged or built upon. A soul promise is returning. A memory from a past life is resurfacing. seeking to build something lasting. In the next segment, we'll unravel this mystery. Why does karmic love return precisely when you least expect it? And what makes this reunion so powerful and constructive? Have you ever felt a love so profound and grounding that you knew it transcended this lifetime? You couldn't explain why you trusted them from the very first moment, why you forgave them time and again, or why, despite the hurt, you still sensed their soul crying out for your steadfast support. You thought it was love, but it was deeper. It was karma seeking balance and tangible form. When karmic love returns, it's not merely to rekindle an old flame, it's to restore a part of your soul that had been lost or to build something that was left unfinished. This isn't a figment of your imagination, Taurus. An old love or a deep soul connection is preparing to re-enter your life, not because you remember or long for them, but because the karmic cycle is spinning toward its destined reunion, aiming for completion. That person you thought you had moved on from is being drawn back into the spiritual journey you believed was complete. Between you and them lies a soul contract signed across lifetimes, perhaps one about building or creating something together. Perhaps you were the one who left, or maybe you were the one who caused them instability. Maybe you sacrificed for them in another life, and now they are returning, not to start anew in a fleeting way, but to complete an unfinished circle, to build something real. This return won't be dramatic. It won't resemble a scene from a movie. Instead, it will manifest through practical dreams, unexpected messages, or a moment when you stumble upon an old photo and feel those lingering wounds finally healing into scars of wisdom. That's the universe activating the connection between two souls, seeking grounding and resolution. Karmic love doesn't come to bring immediate happiness. It arrives to help you acknowledge the foundations that still need strengthening or healing. You may have forgiven partially, let go without full honesty, or loved without truly loving your own need for security. This person comes back not to test your commitment, but to see if you've matured enough to view love through a new, more practical and self-assured lens. Only when you no longer see them as your sole source of security will you be ready to receive love freely and build with them. You are no longer the fragile soul you once were. You have awakened and now possess the power to choose not who to love, but what brings you peace and tangible value. You don't need to revisit the past to rewrite the ending. Sometimes, your own grounded presence is the most beautiful conclusion to what was once unfinished. If that person returns, they will encounter a new version of you, someone who doesn't need love to feel whole and secure. But remember, dear Taurus, karmic love is just one aspect of your journey. What truly matters is how you have transformed and become more self-reliant after all you've experienced. In the next part, we'll shift our focus from them to you, the one who was once perhaps shaken and is now undergoing a rebirth of inner strength. This transformation is the key to setting everything in motion. If you've ever felt a soul connection, share your experience in the comments with the phrase, "I am returning to myself," a version that has been fortified. Have you looked in the mirror and realized you are no longer the one who cried over their instability? You no longer send messages only to delete them, nor do you stay up late hoping to catch a glimpse of their online status. You've stopped searching for signs of them in every song, every memory, and every gentle breeze that brushes your heart. You've changed, quietly, silently, but profoundly. No storm passes without leaving a mark, and no soul grows without first breaking apart and then rebuilding stronger. You are no longer who you once were, and that is why the world around you is beginning to shift. You no longer plead for love. You no longer reach out to someone who has let go. You no longer desperately hope that someone will understand your need for consistency. In that moment of letting go, they may begin to panic because nothing frightens someone more than realizing they've lost a soul whose steadfastness they thought would always be there. You've evolved, Taurus. You've shifted from wanting to be loved to knowing that you are worthy of stable, respectful love. You were once an open heart, giving without reservation, loving without boundaries, and forgiving more than you realized. But love that isn't cherished becomes a wound. You once held on to broken pieces and called it love, blaming yourself for not being good enough, attractive enough, or patient enough. You sacrificed yourself to hold on to someone, but you eventually realized that anyone who requires you to diminish your light or compromise your values in order to love you doesn't deserve you at your brightest. You stopped chasing after someone and began walking straight into your own power. You stopped changing to fit someone else's needs and started changing to rediscover your true, unshakable self. No one transforms overnight, but you have changed day by day by choosing to rise each time you were left behind or felt unsteady. You learned to support yourself when no one else would, to remain still and grounded when your heart wanted to scream, and to retreat into silence when you once tried to explain yourself until you were breathless. These are the signs of a soul in recovery and fortification. A person healing no longer seeks their pain giver to be their healer. You no longer need someone to return to feel worthy. You have always been worthy. Now, you are the Queen of Pentacles, full of emotion, still tender, but no longer breakable, incredibly practical and grounded. You still love, but you prioritize loving and respecting yourself first. You still care, but not to the point of losing yourself or your boundaries. You understand your boundaries, recognize your value, and know when to walk away, thanking yourself for doing so. Dear Taurus, you no longer need to be chosen because you have chosen yourself. When you choose yourself, the universe begins to choose you. Love finds you. Opportunities open up for you. Miracles touch your life in tangible ways. That is your triumph. No one needs to witness it or acknowledge it. All that's required is for you to live quietly and proudly with your heart stitched back together, stronger than before. Remember, a soul that transforms never does so in isolation. When you change, the world around you begins to realign. What once left you is now finding its way back, drawn to your newfound strength. What was delayed is being adjusted to arrive at the perfect moment. What you once prayed for in silence is finally on its way to you, in a form you can truly appreciate. In the next segment, we'll explore this further. The universe is rearranging everything to bring you your reward, because once you heal and stand firm in your worth, you become a magnet for all that you once missed or patiently waited for. If this resonates with you, share a line in the comments. I have changed, and I deserve a new, stable chapter. Do you remember those nights when you cried out in quiet desperation? Those late hours spent staring at the ceiling, hoping for something better, something more secure? You once asked, "How much longer must I wait? Why does everyone else seem to have it all, while I'm still patiently on the sidelines?" You thought the universe was silent, perhaps believing you weren't enough or hadn't worked hard enough. But Taurus, you were mistaken. The universe was never silent. It was simply preparing a reward far greater and more enduring than you could have imagined. Everything you once lost, everything you waited for patiently, everything you were rejected from, is now realigning to return to you at the right time, in the right way, with the right people. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared silently and divinely. There are things you once thought were lost, but they were merely delayed to protect you from poor choices or unstable situations. Some people left because they couldn't follow you on your elevated, more grounded path. Dreams went unfulfilled because you hadn't yet embraced your inherent worthiness. And when you changed, the universe began to redraw the map of your life. It didn't take you on a shortcut. It guided you along the right, steady path. The miracle is this: nothing meant for you will ever miss you forever. You may have found yourself on your knees during the darkest nights, wondering if you were truly strong enough. But what you didn't realize is that the wound you carry, the perseverance you've shown, is precisely where the light enters and your strength is forged. The universe may not respond in words, but it communicates in ways you never expected, through sudden, practical opportunities, doors opening just as you were about to give up, or someone who loves you for your true self after years of healing and building alone. An old wish, a practical dream, may suddenly come true. You won't believe it, but every prayer you've made for stability and true connection is being answered all at once. You're not late, you're right on time according to the rhythm of your own soul. You're not unlucky, you're being shielded from what doesn't deserve your loyalty. You're not invisible, you're being watched over by a universe that never sleeps and is rewriting your destiny from the very things you thought were lost. Love, career, abundance, all built on a solid foundation. These blessings won't arrive in fragments. They will come all at once, like gentle, nourishing rain falling on parched land that has waited long enough. You simply need to believe and be ready to receive with open, deserving hands. Taurus, you've traveled a long road, and you've grown through tears and tenacity. You deserve a season of blooming and harvest. Lift your head high, take a deep breath, and look to the sky ahead with your feet firmly on the ground, because that's when the universe whispers, "Now it's your turn." If you feel something shifting within you, leave a comment. I am ready to receive the reward the universe has held for me. This journey has truly begun. Taurus, you no longer need to chase after anything. What is meant for you was sent out long ago, cultivated by your own efforts, and is now returning in the gentlest, most secure way. Will you open your heart to receive it, or will you smile at its late arrival because you no longer depend on it for your wholeness? If your heart feels something stirring, leave a comment, for you are awakening your own miracle. Wishing you, dear Taurus, the ability to fully receive all that you once patiently gave away, with all the purity, depth, and steadfastness you truly deserve.